What's going on, everybody? It's dotbets. We're checking back in. We got our On the Dot NFL Week 12 Best Bet Show coming at you guys here live on Twitch, YouTube, and X. So if you guys are on any one of those, make sure you guys leave a comment. If you guys are on X, make sure you guys hit that repost button. Would appreciate that a ton. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. We were very, very close to hitting 2 to 3 same game parlays in the Discord. Really, really frustrating day. Other than that, we were ready to get going after this Week 12 NFL slate. We got a comment here, Dominic Brown. What's up, man? Let's go. Ready to go as well. Optimism is always high on Sunday mornings. We got a lot to dive into. We have a lot of plays to give out. As if you guys have been here before, make sure you guys tune in. We got power. We are always powered by Occupy Fantasy. That's occupyfantasy.com. I'll show you guys their OccuProp radar. Use my referral link below. Sign up with them. Best lineup optimizer in the game. Best content in the DFS industry. Absolutely been killing the NBA game. The members had a big night in the NHL last night. Tons and tons of content. Anything you could ask for. Join up to occupyfantasy.com today. Use my referral link. All right, yep. And we'll use the OccuProp radar, go over some props. Very, very easy to shop lines from them. This is free on their website, so we'll go that route. But yeah, that's an interesting 10-game slate. On the DFS slate, it's going to be very, very tough. I think the pricing this week is probably the hardest it's been. But I'll give you guys my top 3 stacks. I'll give you guys some slate thoughts and how to get a little bit different today. And then we'll go into a couple. I got a spread and I got a total. And then we got 3 props, our anytime touchdown pick to click. And then we have our anytime touchdown parlay as well. So let's get after it for the Week 12 slate. All right. So top stacks, probably the low hanging fruit here of the stacks is the Bills-Eagles game. And I can't help but get a piece of this game. I'm probably leaning on the side to go Bills 3x1. So 3x1 stacks on the 10-game slate are more than likely ideal. If you go with a smaller, like a small field section, you could go 3x2s or 4x1s. If you just really, really like a game and want to stack that one, you definitely can. But the Bills 3x1 here is the way I'm going to go with it. It's a very, very expensive stack, so you're going to have to throw in some dart plays, which hope to hit. I mean, you got Greg Dortch, you got Justin Watson, you got Rondale Moore, you got Khalil Shakir. So you got some guys that could be serviceable in the low 3,000 range in the DFS slate. So you really, really just got to hope that one of those guys get it, because if you try to stack Allen with Diggs and Kincaid and bring it back with Smith or AJ Brown, it's just incredibly expensive. And the running backs, they give you absolutely zero value on the slate. The best value I really like is Jaylen Warren at 5,400. You could go. I mean, say you don't like Derrick Henry and you think he's washed, and this is a prime matchup. I mean, he should be. This is like the one last week. Probably someone's going to trust him. But Tajay Spears, he's 4,400, 2,000 less than Derrick, and maybe he breaks one off, and he has a good one. So 4,400, that's like the lowest I'm going to go this week. It's just very not. It's very, very tough for the running back side to get different. But we do have some cheap wide receivers, so that Bills-Eagles stack is a definite way to go there. My next stack that I like is going to be this Rams-Cardinals game. That I feel like I stack the Rams every single week, and it's going to pay off here once in a while. But you could go either way. I lean the Rams side here. Total at 45. You got the Rams 3-point favorites. That's creeped up. It was like -1.5. That's all the way up to 3 now. With Kyron back, you got Puka and you have Cooper Kupp. That's going to be all good to go from all the reports. So if you want to fade Cooper Kupp and maybe go Kyron or Tutu or Puka, you can definitely go that route, get a little bit cheaper. But You can run it back with some pretty cheap options. I think my favorite run back is McBride from the Cardinals. Hollywood Brown's going to be playing, so you can definitely go his route. Or like I said earlier, with Rondale Moore or Greg Dortch, you got two very, very cheap options there with Michael Wilson, I believe, still out. So one of those four bring back. I'd probably bring it back with a majority of them being McBride, but I would stack Stafford, Cooper and Puka, and then bring it back with McBride. Gives you a little bit more breathing room than that Buffalo Bills Eagles stack. And I'm usually all for these cheap stacks, and you could get that cheap stack in the Colts Buccaneers game. If you wanted to go either quarterback, you could go, I think Minshew's like 5,100. You could have like that game at 45.5. It's a game I'm taking pieces from. I did not get fully stacked in that game. I do like Pittman. I do like Evans. I like Godwin. If you like Josh Downs, for a good value play here for the wide receiver position. I just did not get there. I know it's a pretty good game environment, especially in the dome there. But I'm going to go to another dome game here, which is the Texans Jaguars game with the total at 48. I think you could easily stack both sides. So if you like either one of them, I'll convince you either way. But I'm good with the Texans side here. I think it's more concentrated, where you kind of know where everything's going. So you got to stack Tank Dell and Nico here, and then you can bring it back and hopefully get the right one back. With Kirk or Ridley or Evan Ingram. I think I'm going to fade ETN because of his price tag, especially, and not getting much in the run game here or the pass game. So I'm gonna fade ETN. We'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna bring it back with more than likely Kirk and Ridley, and then some Ingram. But I think this is the way to go. 1.5 point dogs. You got the Texans at home, where CJ Stroud plays significantly better. We'll show you those stats here shortly. But then, yeah, the 48-point total is nice here. So target the two totals of 48 plus, and then I like the Rams Cardinals here. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the DFS slate. It's a little bit challenging here with you got to really hope that these cheap wide receivers go off for you. Or if you want to go completely different, you go very, very expensive running backs and go a very, very cheap stack. And then you play the value wide receivers if you want to just get completely different. But I think that's more of a small field or a cash game, kind of play there, but we'll see. Let's go with these top three stacks and see what we can get. I usually make about 20 lineups. If you guys have ever tuned in, make 20 lineups, about 3 to 4 different stacks here, and just kind of rotate my core and get some other guys around them, and hopefully one of them sticks. That's the main goal there. All right, so let's get to some plays. We'll be here probably another about 10 minutes or so. If you guys have any comments, I do have a question for you guys about my fantasy team. I'm kind of stuck here in a predicament. I got Kyron back for my season long, and I got to start two of these four. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Pick two of these four. I got Puka, Kyron, DJ Moore, or Jalen Warren. Half-point PPR. I need one in my flex and one to finish out my last receiver. Let me know who you guys would play. I'm leaning on DJ Moore and Puka, but Kyron in a great matchup. I don't know how much I can trust him. Everything that McVay has said, it's 100% going to be, he's good to go. He's going to come back and go right back to his role. Obviously, probably not play 90% of the snaps, but if I get 70 to 80% of the snaps, I think with a touchdown is not unreasonable for Kyron. I am a little concerned with Puka with Cooper Kupp. So let me know. Pick two of the four who you guys would start season long half-point PPR format. Alrighty. All right. So first play of the day. This is a game I swore myself I was not going to go to. I was not going to get to. I was just going to stay far and far away from it. But we're gonna go to the Steelers Bengals game. And man, I would love to just take this the home dog here at +2. It's actually 2.5 now. I got it at 2. But I'm going to go Steelers. Steelers -2, -112 on DK. It's actually 2.5. but I think they can get this W here. Tomlin, I'm going to go on Tomlin, the better defense and the better run game here. Who's Jalen Warren has been absolutely phenomenal. They still have Najee. I still think that they can get it done through the air. Matt Canada did get fired. We are kind of hopping on that bandwagon where coaches get fired. Like the Raiders, coaches get fired. Boom, they get going. And maybe this is the spark that this team needs. I mean, they're 6-4, so right, yeah, 6-4, I believe. But I mean, they just haven't played very, very well for that type of record. And but I'm all for the Steelers in this matchup. Browning is going to absolutely struggle in this match. I know he's got a week to prepare. He still has some weapons with Chase and Boyd. They're going to lean heavily on Mixon, but I'm going to go with this Steelers defense. I know it's banged up in the secondary, but when you have a backup quarterback, it doesn't matter too much. I think they can get home on him significantly more, and then ride that run game with. And then you still have Pickens, but let's see what Pickens do. And then you got Deontay as well. So and the Freiermuth is back. It's a good matchup here for the Steelers. It's creeped up. I think it was at -1, and now it's getting up to like the -2.5. So I could see it floating to 3 by kickoff. So grab the Steelers while you can. Got a comment. We got accent. We got Puka and Kyron. So right in the Rams. Okay, I can get down with that. Puka and Kyron. Let me know. The question is for anybody coming in: Puka, Kyron, Jalen, or DJ Moore. So let me know in the comments. You got to pick 2 of the 4. All right, and the second play is going to be an over, and it goes right to that Rams Cardinals game, and we're going to go over here. And there's so many missing pieces on both sides of the defense here that I believe we can get it. We can get it on both sides. The Cardinals are missing significant pieces on the back end, and so are the Rams. And I think with Kyler being back, they've put up a lot of yardage, but their red zone has been really, really bad. But he also has missed some big plays to Hollywood Brown, and I think this is where they can get it right. I know it's always a divisional matchup. You try to that a lot of teams know each other and they know their tendencies, but this will be the first time Murray plays the Rams since last year. So they played earlier, and I think it was Josh Dobbs who was quarterback. So a lot of moving pieces here. I think this is a shootout written all over it. That's why I like to stack it, and it's a great environment. So Rams over 45 with the Cardinals, and I believe it's still at 45. Yep, it's still 45. You can get it at -110 on Caesars. It's -112 if you got DK or whatnot. So yeah, Rams Cardinals over. Stack it with what Accent says is to play Kyron and Puka, which I might go with. Might just stack the Rams, but man, it's a little high amount of share for that game. So we'll see. All right, we got the VIP teaser. If you guys do want any of my VIP picks, I know that I do this every Sunday, but I also give out NBA, college football, NFL currently, all to our Discord members, and that is in the link below. If you guys want to sign up to that link below for VIP, and we will go with the 7-point teaser. All right, we're gonna hit this one. I don't think the Chiefs are gonna let us down. I feel very, very confident with this Falcons, Texans, or sorry, I put the Texans at +2.5. They're +8.5. Let me edit that. I believe so. The Texans, yeah, +8.5. Yep. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. So we got the Falcons +9, Texans +8.5, and the Chiefs -2.5. So the Chiefs have you can get it at -2. So I got this last night. It was actually when it was 8.5. But the Chiefs with the Crosby's in. We'll see how well he does. I think he's going to be very, very extremely limited. The Chiefs should be able to get this dub here. The Texans +8.5. I'm going to take another home dog here. I think they can easily win this game, but just a nice little tease up. I don't like to usually tease up with a lot of points. It's technically not the right way to do it, but I think this Texans game can keep it close. They won't get blown out here by the Jags. And then the Falcons game, this is a prototypical low under. We're going to tease the home dog up to 7, so +9. So I don't think the Saints have any business blowing anybody out. I think the Falcons I believe they come off a bye, and we'll get after it here with the Falcons +9, Texans +8.5, and the Chiefs -2.5. +130. We got 2 units on this one for the VIP 7-point teaser. Again, anybody who's just tuned in, let me know who you guys would play. Pick 2 of these 4: Puka, Kyron, DJ Moore, or Jalen Warren. We got pick 2 of the 4. One's in my flex, one's in my receiver, my last receiver spot, and we got a half-point PPR format. All right, so we got 3 props here, and we'll pull up the OccuProp radar here. This is free to use on Occupy Fantasy's website. It's a fantastic tool. We got you can look at the betting odds. There's tons of deposit bonuses for you guys, so make sure you guys use those, especially with different sports books available. You got the live odds tab for all 4 sports there, and then the OccuProp radar, which you can easily maneuver, search for players, and then it pulls up all of their respective their props right here. So, all right, we're gonna go first with the guy here, DeAndre Swift. And if you watched that game against the Chiefs, he's not heavily targeted in the pass game, but when he does, his yards after catches, he's a monster. And I believe today they will be in some trailing game scripts. I believe. I know they're at home, but I think the Bills team has to come out firing. And I think this is a good position here. DeAndre Swift over 16.5 receiving yards. I was kind of surprised by this number. I thought it'd be more in the 20-ish range. And the Bills do give up the second most running back receiving yards in the league. He's also hit this in 4 of his last 6 games. Like I said, he's a big yards after catch. They did a lot. They did a couple screens to him, and he took it. He was a big factor in that Chiefs game for them to come out ahead. And I think they go back to it in this game, over 16.5. So if you scroll down here, you got his receiving yards. So it's over 16.5 across the board. It's at over 20.5 over at PointsBet. So I got the best number here at Caesars, -115. So DeAndre Swift over 16.5. So make sure you guys get that one. That's one of my favorite props of the week. I almost kept it in VIP, but I was like, I got to share this one. I think this one's going to be it should be a first half cash in my opinion. All righty, next one. I'm gonna probably say this twice again, but this is probably kind of a low hanging fruit play, and I'm just going to get burned by it or whatnot, but I'm going to do it. And that is going back to that Texans Jaguars game. We're going to go CJ Stroud over 272 pass yards. It's almost like too obvious, right? It's almost too obvious. But if you look at it on FanDuel, it's ticked up to 274.5 over on Caesars and DraftKings. It's as low as 270.5 on PointsBet. So if you want to take that on PointsBet, go right ahead. But this man has been an absolute stud. Definitely the rookie of the year. He's averaged 387 yards per game over the last 3 games, 470, 356, and 336. I see him in a somewhat of a trailing pass game, a game script here with, and you still have Singletary. You got Dameon Pierce back in the lineup, but you're still going to rely on CJ Stroud to get this done. And it's a pass funnel defense from this Jaguars team that plays a lot of zone. And I think Tank Dell is going to have a big game. Fine with Nico as well. But, man, CJ Stroud should end up airing it out a ton. His passing attempts is right around 36.5. So he's average, 42, 39, and 37. So right on pace. He gets to that pace. I think he gets to 300 yards. So I'm actually going to take an alternate spread of 300 and probably parlay it into something else. So I'll share that one in the Discord for everybody. But, yeah, CJ Stroud over 272.5 against this Jaguars defense in a high total game at home, which he's played significantly better on. Let me show you that real quick. So this is his 5 home games: 384, 306, 199 against New Orleans, 470, and then 336. So 4 out of the 5 home games, he's gotten 300 yards or more. So I'm totally fine with this. Another alternate spread here of 300 plus passing yards for CJ Stroud. Hopefully the trend keeps rolling. I don't see why it will stop, but I'm all in on this Texans offense here, and good to go with the pass yards here for CJ Stroud. All right, and one last prop. We were on this guy last week when I don't think a lot of other people were, and that was because no one had a clue how this offense was going to look with that new quarterback. But my man David Njoku came to play, and if you want to go back to that same play, I don't blame you. But we are going to go. We're going to go to David Njoku over 42.5 receiving yards. We are going to go with I'm leaning his receiving yards more than his receptions, basically because the Broncos give up the most receiving yards to the tight end position in the entire NFL. And you guys can we'll pull up the Occupy radar. It's 43, some 44s. It's still 42.5 over on BetMGM, but it's creeping up on FanDuel at 44.5. So go ahead and take that over on Caesars if you can. I'm okay with it up to about 45. I think that's a good spot. But his last 5 games, he's gotten 54, 77, 26, 58, and 56. He's got targeted 15 times, 15 times last week from DTR, and he's just a safety net. Like I said before, he literally just runs 7 yards, turns around, and just stops, and that's what he was doing all game long last week. And in this game, I think it's going to be a very, very ugly game, but with the way this Broncos team has played, I could see the Browns in a trailing game script on the road here. Try to lean more on Jerome Ford, but this Broncos defense has been very, very good against the run as of late. I know all the numbers are going to say they're the number 1 team, but it's very, very outlawed because of the Dolphins game when they put up 70 points against them. So make sure you guys, if you guys have different filters, make sure you filter out like the last 5 weeks and kind of see where they're at. But they're very, very good against the run. So I think they're going to force them to pass the football, and I think Njoku is going to be a big factor here on the road in Denver here for the Browns. Oh, and one more note for that Swift play. The Bills have allowed 9 of the 11 starting running backs to catch over that number, especially over their numbers. So the last 5 we got was Breece Hall, who had 50, Jacobs had 31, Mixon had 31, Rashad White had 70, and Stevenson had 51. So I think that's another. I forgot to plug that one, but yeah, that's another one here for that Swift over 16.5 receiving yards. I think this is a no-brainer play. All right. Let me know in the comments from you guys. I want to hear from you guys on this right here. Puka, Kyron, DJ Moore, or Jaylen Warren. I need to pick 2 of the 4 to play in my fantasy lineup. And if I lose, I'm coming for you. I'm kidding. I would never do that. But definitely want some advice here. Who do you guys think? Also, if you guys have any player props, start sits, I'm here for the next 5 minutes. Let's get after it for week 12. So let's go to our anytime touchdown pick to click right here. So we had Cooper Kupp last week, and that was super frustrating. He dropped. I mean, it was a poor throw by Matthew Stafford. Poor throw. But he was wide open. He just had to turn around and situate himself, and he had a walk-in touchdown. Literally just turned around and fell into the end zone. Instead, he tripped over his foot, and then he rolled it up, blocking a couple of their plays right afterwards, and was done for the day. So there is our pick to click dunzo right away. Paved the way for Puka to have a good game. But we're going to go to that Buffalo. We're going to go to the Buffalo Eagles game. And my main man, Stephon Diggs, plus 130 to score. And I'm also taking his first touchdown, plus 950. And if you know anything about attacking this Eagles off defense, it is through the air. They give up the second most receiving yards or receiving touchdowns to receivers, obviously, in the league. And what do we got here? I'm going to try to pull up I'll show you like I said, if you tune in every single week, I like to see the roller coaster odds with the touchdowns. And I'll pull this up here. You got to score a touchdown. So BetMGM, he's minus 135. On Caesars, he's plus 130, plus 120, plus 100 on FanDuel, plus 110. So this little roller coaster of odds here, I really, really like targeting those guys. You see some of the value that you're going to get. You take them over on Caesars at plus 130, plus 120. If you only have DraftKings, no big deal. I'm okay with that. And then you have the first touchdowns. So plus 950 over on DraftKings, which is pretty crazy because you would think he'd be a little bit higher on Caesars. But we're going to go with the DraftKings plus 950 and Diggs plus 120. A little squeaky wheel as well because he only had 3 receptions and 4 receptions the last 2 games. Look for him to have a big bounce back game against this Eagles secondary. And this Bills team desperately needs this W. They desperately need it. I think it's a good sandwich spot from for the Bills to get the Eagles because the Eagles come off that emotional win over the Chiefs, and then on a short week have to play the Bills, but then the next week they have the Cowboys. So it's a very, very good spot here for the Bills to get right. And Josh Allen's been very, very good still in 23. I know there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of Diggs drama with the, with controversies that he's not going to be back next year. I still think that this is a solid team, a very, very elite offense. They just fired their offensive coordinator last week. So we'll see what this has in store this week, but I'm good with Diggs plus 130 here to get an anytime touchdown score. And then we, as always, will end the show with our parlay. Getting close. I know I'm going to include somebody that we had last week, and if this guy doesn't score, I'm done with him. Just done with him. He's got to score this week. We're going to go Diggs, Mike Evans, who has been a touchdown machine, and Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry does not score this week, he is dead to me. I will not put him in any other anytime touchdown parlays. The books are just like, hey, it's plus 115. You might as well take him, right? Anything plus, you're just like screaming you have to take it. But like I said, this is the week. Great matchup at home versus the Carolina Panthers. It is just screaming to score a touchdown. So let's hope he gets in there. But I'm going to go. This is a little bit more conservative parlay. Diggs, Evans, and that is Derrick Henry, not Hunter Henry. So Derrick Henry for plus 1082 for 0.25 units over on DK. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be here for another minute or so. We're going to do a little quick recap and make sure you guys are hit that subscribe button on YouTube, hit that repost on X, and we'll get after it for week 12. All right. Steelers -2, Rams, Cardinals over 45. We got the VIP 7-point teaser, the Falcons, Texans, and the Chiefs for 2 units. Favorite prop of the day. If you only want to take one, you're taking this one. Over 16.5 receiving yards, -115. I'm going to look like a clown when this doesn't hit because I'm so confident in it. I hate when I blow a prop up like this because, he could get hurt and it'd be the end of the prop there. But man, it's everything is pointing in the direction that this one's going to hit. CJ Stroud over 272.5 pass yards. And then we got Njoku over 42.5 receiving yards. And then our pick to click anytime touchdown is going to be Stephon Diggs. Sprinkle his first touchdown as well. And then our Diggs, Evans, Henry anytime touchdown parlay. Let's get one. It's week 12. We're due. We're absolutely due. And Derrick Henry, do not do it to us. Do not do us dirty. Please do not. If you guys have followed along with the show, we are 41 and 35 for plus 5.2 units. So we were at a nice little 12.43 units. And then this is what happens in the NFL. It's a week-to-week adjustment. And we went, I think it was like 4 and 10 the last 2 weeks. So we have a lot to make up. And I think this is a brilliant bounce back spot here for week 12. So let's get after it. As always transparent with you guys. Make sure, or appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll get after it for week 12. If you guys have any other comments, DM me on Twitter or get into the Discord with the link below. Make sure if you guys do check out Occupy Fantasy, tell them I sent you. All right. We'll get up on out here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you.